Megs, my wife, and I were out at a local restaurant that we absolutely love, Femme, and it had just opened. And my wife ordered the croque madame. And the head chef comes out, and it was the first one he had made for the public. So I kind of asked her, how was it, blah, blah, and she's like, oh my God, it's huge. I'm not going to be able to finish it. They say they're pleasantries, and he goes away. I look at her, I'm like, that was the owner. She's like, what? How do you know? He's wearing a Submariner.
So if any of you are new here, my name is Elizabeth Smith. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Oliver Smith Jeweler, watch fan, and second gen here at the business as well. Yeah. And I've got George Reed here. He's our Director of Fine Timepieces, head watch nerd, and also big watch fanatic. And today we're answering the question, why is the Rolex Submariner so popular? A little bit of background. Let's talk about that. I know you know a ton about the Rolex history too. The Submariner came out in 1953. There were dive watches before it, but it pulled sort of all these best aspects into this, like, what Rolex would say, like, set the standard for dive watches.
It distilled everything. I'm especially, and I'm going to do just a little bit of a caveat there. I think the modern, after 1980, because that's really when all of the parts of the recipe really came together to form this as a modern dive watch. Okay. It always alluded to it, but there were certain things they couldn't do because of different patents and stuff like that.
Right,
so 1980 was the distillation of the thought process, I think.
So fast forward kind of to today, I mean, Rolex has been making this watch for many, many years. I think that helps with the popularity. To me, it's the most accessible Rolex sports watch. Because it's been around for so long, and it's kind of a great price point to get into Rolex sport.
Yeah, and regardless of which primary market, secondary market, there's a lot of them out there. I mean, this one's no slouch. I've always thought of this particular watch, and I'm going to get a little playful here, but I'm going to bring it back around.
Oh boy!
As a young man, I was looking for my first luxury sports sedan. Okay. And I didn't want a BMW 3 Series. They're everywhere. Every rich high school girl gets as her first car. Like, I just didn't want one. Okay. So I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at everything from Audis to Cadillacs. And every single article, every single review calls their particular car the BMW 3 Series killer. So everybody's attacking this benchmark car. So eventually, I relent to go test drive the BMW. You see what this benchmark looks like. I bought the BMW.
Yeah.
And so that's 100% what I think about this watch. There's a million of them out there. Everybody's got one, had one, wants one. And you kind of go, why? And you go, oh, yeah, because it's a really, really, really good watch.
So let's talk about the things that make it a good watch, some of the elements in it. Stainless steel.
And a particular variant of stainless steel. They use, 904L instead of 316, which is, a lot of people think it's harder. It might be a little bit harder. A lot of people think it takes a polish better. Yeah. I'd actually agree with that. I think it does take a polish really, really well. But most importantly, as a dive watch, you really don't have to rinse this off after you've been in salt water.
Ah, okay.
It's designed as an anti-corrosive.
Yeah.
Please do, because your watch would be gross. But it's not going to affect the metallurgy of the watch. And then especially now, too, coupling that with the ceramic bezel. I mean, just every improvement they've made over the years has made the watch better and better.
Black is classic. It's never going to go out of style if you're reaching for your first sports watch. I mean, black dial is the way to go.
Yeah.
And then you can build your collection from there. I want to add, which I thought was a good remark George said before we started filming, this is the only Rolex Submariner that doesn't need a nickname.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a nickname.
It's the legend. Yeah. Now there's variants of this that do have nicknames, but this basic black, be it a date or a no date, it's Genesis, man. That's where the whole conversation starts. And I still believe, this is hard, if you only are going to have one watch, it probably should be the Submariner. I say Submariner date. Some people might disagree with me, but I mean, T-shirt and flip-flops to your wedding day. This can be the only watch you ever have.
It checks all the boxes.
It's literally that good, yeah.
And I also want to touch on, the popularity of it. Definitely the Rolex effect is at play here. We have a video, actually, where my dad talks about the marketing behind Rolex and some other brands, so we'll make sure to link that. But Rolex has worked very hard on their marketing over the years. They're fantastic marketers and advertisers.
Yeah.
They were the first to get into the sports world,
Yep.
tennis, F1, you see them everywhere. So add on that Rolex effect, and then here's a fantastic sports watch that checks all the boxes. There's a reason why it's probably the first watch, someone gravitates to.
Yeah.
When they're picking their first nice watch.
Yeah, when you're thinking a high-end luxury sports watch, this is the brain automatically goes to this. Everybody in the world knows it, and I think you touched on a really good point. I've always felt Rolex was a masterful marketer, and that's all well and good. The product still has to be fantastic,
Yeah.
and I think that's really where they deliver. They overpromise and overdeliver, and that's rare in our world. You don't see that very often, except Oliver Smith.
Great plug. So we know there's a lot of opinions on this piece. Was it your first watch, or are you thinking about buying a Submariner? Let us know below. We'll be answering your questions and comments. And again, make sure to like and subscribe. We're posting videos every Saturday just like this. Thanks for watching.